Video, I want to talk about the spiritual roots of environmental degradation. Now, there are some outliers in this movement. I'm mainly going to talk about the three big monotheistic religions, and they're not the only part of the problem. They're just one of the parts of the problem. So you have Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. And in those three religions, God, which means everything, the omnipotent power of everything, is outside of the earth. It's up. And in all three of those religions, the negative, evil force is down. What is down? The earth. What is up? The sky. So literally, the earth is dominated right now by sky-worshipping people. And all those who are earth worshippers are seen as evil or, satanic or devil worshippers. Not that extreme anymore. But it's instructive to understand the subconscious dimensions of belief that drive our cultures. You know, in the end, human culture is everything. Human culture combined with the ability to put food on your mouth and to have relationships with your neighbors and to stay warm, that's everything. If you don't have those things, then you're going to rebel. So if you create an ideology and a worldview that gives you food on the table, warmth in your house, people to bond with, and a worldview that tells you how to see the world, then the people are going to stay in check. So in this worldview that dominates the planet right now, there's a story, the story of the devil and Satan and all those stories say that he was the evil one. Right? And then the effigies, the images of this evil one, look surprisingly like the pagan god of spring and fertility. He's a half goat, half man, with horns that look like a goat. Now, if you go back pre-Christianity, that was the pagan god of fertility, the pagan god of nature. So what do? They took the pagan god of nature. They took the idea of worshiping the ground, Mother Nature, and they turned that into a male entity that is evil. And then the good male entity is up there. And in addition to that, they also turned the feminine element, which was much more prominent in the earth-based religions, because the feminine element embodies things. It's physical structure. The masculine element is cerebral and electric and outside, and that's why they call it the God man up in the sky. So when you disempower the feminine, which is body, and you disempower the earth, which is full body, then you get this false idea that all we have to do is worship energy. And what's energy, right? Money is a form of energy, and it's fucking killing our planet. We're just going after money because we think we need more, and it's killing the material foundation upon which that wealth is created. So the material foundation is the earth, is the forests, is the minerals, is the ecosystem services that the greater climate system provides for us, is the clean drinking water that makes it so we don't have to spend trillions of dollars on healthcare. It's us interacting with the nature environment, being outside, that they're just discovering all these benefits when you just go outside and be in pristine nature more. So all of these things have their root, not their total cause, but have their root in this idea that God's out there and not in here. So there are outliers, and I encourage you to find a way to put God back in the earth. I think it would be very powerful to pull Satan and the devil out entirely and put that idea, I don't know, put it on Mars. I don't know, put it somewhere far away. Put it on Pluto. I don't care. Put it somewhere outside of the Earth so that the Earth is no longer persecuted for this belief structure that inside of me is evil. What? How have we not been talking about this? That inside the Earth, the fundamental molten core, which keeps us alive by creating a protective metal shield, protective magnetic field around us, is evil. If we didn't have it, we would all die instantly of radiation from the sun. So if you're a monotheistic sky god worshiper, I don't want you to give up your religion. I'm not saying that. I think that I kind of wish that I was the type of person who could hold on to one religion and live it to its fullest, because I've seen and known people who've done that, and they have an amazingly blissful life. Unfortunately, I'm not that kind of person. That's not how I was raised. That's not how I was trained. And you can never believe something that is not consistent with who you are and what you already believe. You can only add on to your current beliefs or subtract from pieces that no longer make sense. And then you can have a worldview that is more in line with creating a harmonious world. You know, this idea that thou shalt not kill. Well, how far has that gone? You know, there's killing all over the place. You know, what is that? Why is that part of the Ten Commandments? And why does nobody pay attention to that? You know, that's part of it. What else? You know, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife. You know, I'm sure there's plenty of hardcore Christians who've done all of those things. So why? Because we worship the God in the sky and there's no consequences. If we worship the God on the earth, every time we kill a material being, we feel the ripple of the loss. That's why the native cultures had elaborate ceremonies to, once you feel that ripple of the loss, to release it back into the universe. So if you are of the Islamic, Judaism, or Christian faith, on my request is that you find a way to put the earth on equal footing with the sky. Better yet, put the earth on a higher footing than the sky. Maybe we can find a new monotheistic religion that puts God channeled through the center of the earth and then radiates out to the rest of the universe. So, or starts in an alternate dimension, goes through the center of the universe and out. We could have another earth-centered religion. It doesn't matter that it's not 100%, well, that's not true. It needs to be 100% aligned with science, modern science. This is a very interesting topic most people don't realize, but Christianity, Judaism, Islam, they were all 100% consistent with science of their time. We can't have an authentic religion that heals if it's not 100% aligned with the science of our time, because science is nature. Science is objective objective observation of nature, tested by others who objectively observe and constantly tweaked to make sure that we didn't get it wrong. It is the highest spiritual order, period.